We can't leave the 7th round without looking at the game by the leader before the round, Shankland. And he was playing against So, who was tied second, so a marquee matchup in a way. But yeah, So, the much higher rated player, and was expected to be fighting for first, but Shankland is having a surprise tournament. And I think he was quite happy to just play a solid game. He expected So to go for it in this game, and perhaps that's what So was doing. Let's see the game. Shankland with white. He opened with d4, and after c4, g6, knight to c3, we have the Grunfeld with d5. d6 would be the King's Indian, but So goes for the Grunfeld. A solid but also a dynamic opening. Definitely a choice if you want to play for a win. Knight takes d5, and Shankland goes for the fianchetto with g3. We have some normal moves here, and knight to b6 is the most popular move, but closely second is knight takes c3, which is what So did. B takes c3, and now c5, a thematic Grunfeld move, attacking the center and combining with a bishop on the long diagonal. White defends, black renews the attack, and now white castles. This sacrifices the pawn on d4, but white usually gets enough compensation. So doesn't even go for it yet, he castles, and now rook b1, again offering the pawn on d4, and this time So takes it. So knight takes d4, and So accepts the challenge and takes on d4, and after queen takes d4, bishop to e3. Now if you take, rook takes back, and white is getting very active, and he's going to win back the pawn on b7 or a7, most likely on b7, and he will have, you know, slightly better position with more activity, and therefore So went with queen to c4, and now queen to d2. There's an older game by Aronian where he goes bishop d5, and he won against Timur Rajabov. In the end he managed to get his two rooks on a 7th in a double rook ending, but Shankland goes for queen to d2, protecting the a2 pawn. Bishop e6 renews the threat, but okay, gives up this one. White goes for more development, rook f2 c1, and always note that, you know, if you take some pawns here, let's have it like this, you're going to drop things. This is hanging, but still it's very close to equal. But perhaps Shankland was trying to bait So into trying something drastic. Rook a to d8, and okay, you attack my queen and I attack yours, and the Shankland is happy to trade the queens. He takes on d8, rook takes d8, and now rook takes c4. So is still up a pawn, but Shankland now regains it with bishop takes a7, and instead of taking on a2 when rook takes b7, looks like more or less a dead draw. You know, completely symmetrical pawn structure, no weaknesses for either side. At least So tries to keep some life in the position by going b5. Bishop c6, okay, he wants the pawn. Now he takes on a2, rook takes b5, and bishop c4. And the difference between winning the pawn on b7 or b5 is that now e2 is hanging some lines. Rook b7, bishop f6, protecting the pawn. Now this hangs, and note that you can't play e3. Well, you can actually. It looks dangerous, but actually the king is running out, so this is actually okay. So yeah, if you can't go wrong with that, I mean, it must be close to drawn here. Shankland went bishop f3, and this position is really dry. Not much to play for. King g2, rook e1, and white is winning this pawn here on e2, but it's not enough. That's exactly what happened. Bishop to e3. So finally won a pawn here, but bishop h6 clamps down on the king, and the only way to get rid of this bishop is really to exchange them. But then we have a rook ending 4 against 3, which is more or less always drawn. Rook d7, rook b8, h4, rook to e8, trying to free the bishop. And here we have it, 4 against 3. And let's just quickly see the remaining moves. f4, rook c8, keeping the rook on the 7th. Jack, okay, going back and forth. We saw some draws like this in Shankland. This is really difficult for black. He has to defend with the rook, otherwise it's just a perpetual. King f3, rook e1, king f2. White doesn't really have to demonstrate much here. g4, pawn trade, but this doesn't really change anything. g5, and here white switches his defense. He goes on the counter attack, attacking this, and the problem is that he can switch back and forth between the h and the e pawn, and you have to bring the rook now. And now white just waits. As soon as the king moves, bam! I hit your h pawn. Now hit your e pawn. Hit your h pawn. Jack, hit your h pawn, and nothing to be done. And the draw was agreed. So with that draw, Shankland stays in the lead, but now he's joined by Caruana, and So stays half a point behind. So it looks like could be very interesting. We still have So to play against Caruana, so this could be really interesting. And I see that Cleveland, Indiana is getting really interesting. 95-95, Indiana with the possession. So I'm gonna go watch that, and thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.